Hi everyone, thanks for tuning in. My name is Marion Miller. This week I'm going to do a little talk on the 4 foundations of mindfulness. I always like to describe the 4 foundations of mindfulness as somewhat of a doorway through which we do our practice. So our mindfulness meditation practice. They're like doorways or a systematic kind of path on how to start exploring your inner world. So I thought I'd explain the 4 foundations to you. Firstly, they are mindfulness of the body, mindfulness of hedonic tone, mindfulness of mind states, and mindfulness of all phenomena. So they're the 4 foundations, and I always teach them early on in my programs so that clients can really start to understand how we systematically work through a series of meditations and teachings to really build and expand on awareness. So firstly, I'd like to talk about mindfulness of the bodies because that's really the first one that I explore in the program. So mindfulness of the body can really be oriented probably centrally around the breath. That's the most common mindfulness of the body, I guess, anchor, where people, return their attention, when it wanders, they come back to the breath. The breath's always present in the body, and it's probably a very visceral, easy to notice sensation inside the body because it's always moving as well. But mindfulness of the body also includes all sorts of physical sensations that we can experience, like heat and coolness, muscle tone, even muscle pain, ligaments, bones, flesh, even the skin and that tactile touch, that feeling of fabric on your skin, your feet on the floor. All of those physical sensations really come under the foundation of mindfulness of the body. The body scan practice is a great practice to really develop an awareness of the body, and that's so important because the body is always present, and this is why we encourage people to do practices that really develop mindfulness of the body. So the second foundation is mindfulness of hedonic tone, and this one is a little bit different in the sense that it's really that impulse, that it's really primal impulse, if you like, that we all experience, and we could really describe it as being sort of 3 different types of impulses. One that's quite pleasant, and when we feel this impulse, we're really drawn to and attracted to what we perceive is giving us that pleasantness. And then the other one is unpleasant, and when we experience that unpleasant tone, we're more likely to categorize something as bad. We move away from it, or sometimes we'll even fight it if we're that way inclined. And then there's the neutral tone, and that's really where we might not notice it at all because we don't feel, a strong tone toward or away from, and it can feel quite flat, that neutral tone. So through our practice, we begin to start to notice these tones, these hedonic tones, this liking, this disliking, or this neutral tone. And that really helps us in a lot of ways, because when we can start to see and hold those really strong impulses that often just automatically drive us into behavior that is reactive, as in we grab something we like, or we push something away that we don't like, or we just avoid it altogether. But when we can start to see those kind of patterns, we can really start to understand, what sort of drives certain behaviors or habits that we might actually want to change or need to change. So mindfulness of hedonic tone is really helpful. And then the next one's mindfulness of mind states, and also really helpful practice for being able to see our thinking patterns. So this really encompasses things like planning, organizing, ruminating, even thinking about the past, fantasizing and imagining about the future, conceptualizing, appraising, judging a situation. All of those things are mindfulness of mind states. So anything that really involves that cognitive, psychological and mental activity. And then the last one is mindfulness of all phenomena. And I quite like this one because it really ties all of them together. and really invites us to not just look at all of these teachings as separate, but look at them all as one big teaching, and also what else is out there. You know, what are the natural laws of the universe, like gravity, for example, and also seeing how all of these things are interconnected and all woven into one another. Really important last step, I guess, in that development of mindfulness, and really seeing that within us is our own version of mindfulness, our own authentic version of mindfulness, and our own ability to wake up and be present. So they're the 4 foundations of mindfulness, and I invite you to, follow the practices, start to explore the practices through these mindfulness doorways, and really bring about a holistic kind of approach to your mindfulness practice that isn't just sort of one foundation and not the other, but really explores all 4. And when you can do this, you really will develop a very authentic mindfulness practice. Thanks for tuning in, and have a great day. Bye for now.